your story is pretty interesting because like I think we started around similar times on YouTube, but your channel just like freaking
Yeah.
skyrocketed, and I'm so pumped for you. But like it's I would love to hear your story, and then maybe for other YouTubers that are starting off, that have maybe 100 followers
Yep.
or subscribers, like what tips would you give them?
I have a couple big ones.
Oh, I love it. Ready?
Honestly,
So let's
consistency.
start. Let's start with your backstory first, and then go into those that you think helped
Okay.
lead to the success.
So the backstory is actually it's a crazy thing, and I talked about this on my vlog channel as well. I actually gave the whole story of how I got here, but really and truly, it was during COVID, and it was right before it started. But it was kind of getting to the height of it. I was in law school at Belmont for entertainment law in Nashville, and I had gone to my parents' condo in North Carolina for spring break. And one of the crazy things is before I left, I packed up my car with all my studio stuff because I bring it everywhere I go, just in case, to write and stuff like that. And I was leaving my apartment. Everything was down in my car. I had like one extra thing in my hand. That's it. And I locked my apartment door and I walked down the hallway and I was getting in the elevator and I stopped. And for some, God only knows, weird reason, I turned back around. I went back and I got my camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I left and I put it in the car and I really didn't think much of it. I was just like, maybe I'll just kind of film some of the stuff that I'm doing or whatever. And then I ended up getting the call later on that week that we weren't going back to classes. And in my brain, I'm like, sweet, this is awesome. Like I get to do this online, which is what I've always been best at. I did my undergrad at UF online for criminology. So that way I could, kind of work on music in the meantime and continue to balance because I like to balance things myself. And so as COVID started hitting, I was taking finals and I was doing it all there and I was alone. My parents left, so it was just me up there in the mountains all by myself. And
Hmm.
I was like, I was actually watching Steven's channel and I was like, I could do that. That'd be fun. I'm gonna do that and like just to pass some time, like in between studying and everything to get my brain off of all this mess of, legal everything. And I just decided to start the channel and honestly it just took off faster than I could have ever expected. And I think a lot of it has to do with the amazing fandoms that I was able to like tap into. And I mean they're just all such incredible supportive people, and I feel like that was really and truly key. That and also getting to the kind of the tips. One of the things that I've learned and experimented with in the past as well is quality, consistency, and I feel like your background and just the way that you present yourself is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Like I would
Background is in like background as your personality or background
no,
aesthetic.
well, that too, like your personality as well, but the aesthetic as well, and just how high quality everything is and how nice it looks, because people are far more drawn to a feeling and an atmosphere. And
Mm.
if you can create that, then they're gonna keep coming back. Like for example, I would actually in the condo, I would turn the air down like really, really low before I filmed. That way I could get my tea, and then when I set my tea down, there would be steam coming off of it so that it just kind of gave you that feel. You know what I mean? Like I would go to massive lengths
I
to make
love
sure
that.
every background was great. I even spent with every place I've had to go because I haven't really had a solid place that I've been in for a while. I will spend like, they know, I will spend like 10 hours, 11 hours just moving things into perspective, getting everything perfect before I film, getting the lighting right, making sure I can color correct it right, making sure everything looks as good as possible.
See, I appreciate that as a creative because I think it's so, and I love hearing the backstory because I think it's so easy for people to see the success and just be like, this guy just set up a camera, and started film, and it's like that's not the case,
No,
like
there's so
it's
much more to
I
it.
saw a meme on Instagram like earlier today, and it's like this guy. It's like it was a cartoon, like a caricature, like what you'd see in like in the newspaper, and it was this guy viewing some guy on a relatively small mountaintop. And the
Yeah.
guy's like Simba holding out his music, and this
Yeah.
guy's
Yeah.
like, this looks easy, you know what I mean, from that perspective. But then climbing up the mountaintop on the way down is all the crazy things he had to get to, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
else sees.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate the fact, like all the little details that you actually took. It wasn't
Yeah.
just you setting up a camera. It was you turning down the AC. It was you, tweaking,
Yeah.
like it's driving me insane, and I don't even want to say it right now because now people are gonna notice that I rehung my wall and it's slightly slanted, and it's
Now I see it,
driving.
man. The second you
I
pointed it
know,
out, like
and it's
before you even
driving
said it,
me
I was like, wait a
insane.
second.
It's driving me insane. I had to take it down, and now I had to re-put it up, and I screwed it back in slanted, and it's driving me crazy.
Oh no, dude, that's fantastic though. But
Oh,
yeah,
so,
man,
I love it.
I think that, and there was one other thing that actually is really funny that I think was one of the other reasons that it kind of took off was doing the full albums. I did that sarcastically at first because I had all these people like commenting under after I did some 5 Seconds of Summer. They're like, you should do the whole Calm album. And in my brain, like after a bunch of people had said it, I was like, okay, yeah, nobody's gonna watch that, but fine. Since everybody is saying it, I'm literally just gonna do the whole thing, make it as long as I possibly can, and just prove to everyone that nobody's gonna watch it. And then they all watched it.
Yeah.
And then I got into this album cycle. I'm like, oh God, now I have to do full albums like all the way through.
Which is people have no clue how exhausting that is.
It takes so long, man. And to edit everything and get it all, right afterwards, like it takes a long time. And I was filming in 4K back then. So I would literally I would import the footage, which would take forever because it was 4K and there was so much there.
Mm-hmm.
And then edit it, and like whenever I went to go and export it, it would be like a 3-hour export and then like another like 4-hour upload onto YouTube. And I was waking up in the middle of the night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like going out to my computer and just to make sure it exported so I could get it out the next day. Like
that's crazy. And then if it gets blocked, you have to re-edit it.
Exactly, which is the worst. Like,
oh shoot, man, that is so crazy.